Hey everyone, welcome to week 11 on the Dean's Family Wellbeing Journey. Today, both Tracy and I are going to talk about the worry monster. Hey Tracy.
Hi Nadine, I love that clip. Did you like it?
That was amazing, and Zach really enjoyed it when we watched it together as well. And we made our own worry monster. Not
Oh,
as
brilliant.
these, but we made one and we're doing it. So
And did he have fun making it?
he did, yes. He loved the arms.
Yeah, it's such a great thing to do. So we talked about this idea of playfulness, didn't we, and connecting with our kids through play, and this idea of using empathy, and it brings the two really nicely together because you're having quality time together making a worry monster,
Yes.
and in that you can then be using empathy to talk to them about their worries.
Yeah,
So
he did complain there was no slit in it like the other one. It had to go in his head, but I was like, it's just a quick one we make quickly, and then we can upgrade Worry Monster. But hopefully, we won't need to use Worry Monster as much as we want to use it.
Well, that's it. You can wait till you can wait till the tissue box is empty, and then you can make another one with a built-in mouth, can't you?
Yeah.
But it's such a great thing to do, because what it does is it makes it okay to talk about worries, and that's what we really want, isn't it? We want to give our children permission to talk about what's worrying them, because we know that actually when we're worried, that affects how we're feeling, and then that affects our behaviour, and then a lot of the stress in the house actually comes back to the fact that we've probably got worries, they've got worries, we've all got this stress going round, and then that's affecting how we relate to one another. So when we can take a step back and spend a bit of time talking about those worries, it's a really helpful way of just taking the fuel out of the fire, really, and making family life a bit happier.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite blessed because Zach was happy for me to read his worries with him. I couldn't. Sometimes I got a bit stuck because I didn't know how to answer one of his worries. One of his worries was Daddy catching coronavirus at work. And I was like, well, why would you think that? He wears a mask, he's fully protected. But I kept going around in circles, and I didn't want him to feel like get worried even more. But at the same time, I felt like I couldn't fix that worry.
Yeah, definitely. I get that. And you know what, Zach's not the only one, is he? I bet, there must, every child and young person out there is probably worried about, them getting it, their family getting it, people they care about, their friends. It's a real worry, isn't it? And I think us as parents, when our children are worried or there's a problem, we just want to jump in and fix it. And that's our default setting. We want to fix it, we want to make everything all right, we want to move on to the next thing because there's so many things going on all the time. But I think the encouragement is give yourself permission not to fix it. Because actually, if we think about it logically, when we're upset and somebody tries to tell us what to do or to jump in and fix it, we actually get annoyed. As people ourselves, we get annoyed. And it's the same for our children. They need the same as what we need, and that's just somebody to listen to them, to really understand what they're worried about, and just to acknowledge that that is stressful. So we don't need to fix it, and that's a difficult shift for us as parents. But if we can do that, if we can sort of acknowledge that worry and say, like Miss G did, I loved it, it's okay to worry, we just don't want to get stuck with our worries. So yeah, that's really hard. Every time Dad goes out to work, you're worried that he's going to catch COVID, and even though we know that Dad's doing all the right things and he's got his gloves and he's got his mask and he's keeping his distance, it's still a worry. And if you're worried, anytime you're worried about that, you can come and give me a cuddle, or just give him things he can do, because you can't take away that worry, you can't make it all right, because we are in a pandemic. But you can give him permission to talk about it, to give you a hug every time he thinks about it and he's worried. And I think the other thing Mrs. G said was about remembering that when we're worried, we can say something to our worries. We can either put it in the worry monster, write it down and give it to them to look after, or we can take a deep breath. We can use the breathing exercises, and we can say, you know what, I know Dad's got his mask on and he's doing his best to keep safe. Things like that. So it's about giving children an element of control over it. They can't control a lot of it, but there's little bits they can control. So
yeah, I liked when she said that you can tell you're worried that you're not the boss of me as well. That was quite a good one as well. So yeah, that's really good. I'm just thinking of parents though who children might not be as confident to share their worry with their parents. How do other parents combat that?
Yeah, the thing about the worry monster is it's a way for our children to um, think about what they're worried about and actually do something with that worry. We don't need to know it.
Okay.
And it's another thing that as a parent, you automatically, you want to know what they're thinking about, you want to know what they're worried about, and you want to fix it. So yeah, we can't fix it. We just need to be there and acknowledge how they're feeling. And actually, we don't need to know. Actually, it might be, they might be stressed about things being difficult at home. They might not want to talk about that with you. They might just want to put it in the monster. I think the key thing is, as the further we go down this journey and the more we get used to just naturally talking about our feelings, talking about our own feelings, having that empathic connection with our children where we actually really validate their feelings, over time they will be happier then to share them. So in the first instance, if they just want to put it in the monster, that's fine, just leave it at that. And then later on you can say to them, sometimes it's helpful to share with an adult what you're worried about. So if you want to talk to me about your worries, you can do that as well. And then just no pressure, just leave it on them if they want to. And if they don't want to, that's fine, because over time they will start opening up a little bit more. And especially if you talk about your feelings. So if you can just say, just get used to in everyday conversations talking about, oh, I'm really excited about this happening, or I'm a bit nervous about that, but it's okay because I've done this, and start role modeling it, they'll think, yeah, it's fine. Mum's okay to talk about her feelings. So perhaps I can talk to mum about my feelings. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but just keep chipping away at it.
Okay. I mean, we do share the jar. So if I have a worry, I also tell Zach, oh, I've got a worry. So I end up writing it down and putting it in the jar with his, and he kind of makes him then think about what he can write if he has anything to write. So
Yeah, and the thing to remember, sorry to cut in, the thing that, just as you said that, it just reminded me of a really important bit that just to get across is actually we want to share, so that they get used to us talking about things and using emotional literacy, talking about how we feel. But actually, if we positively manage our worries, they will learn to positively manage theirs. So it's okay to worry, but it's not okay to get stuck with our worries. And that's just as true for us as for our children, isn't it? So it's really important, going back to what we said about self-compassion, self-care. If you feel that you're getting overloaded with your worries and your worries are getting stuck, don't just feel bad about that. Actually, there's so much going on right now and it's so stressful that we're all going to struggle at times, and we need each other. We need to connect up with each other. We need to share our worries with another adult, and we need to get some support so that our children know that we're safe. If we're emotionally well, then they will feel safer and then their worries will decrease. So that's a really important side to it as well, isn't it?
yeah, no, definitely, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and I loved her. I mean, who wouldn't want Mrs. G as their
I
teacher?
know. Even I was just like, oh, I really like her. She's like really bubbly, and the way she
Yeah,
kept doing her actions, and then yeah,
yeah.
I was just smitten, just watching her going, I don't feel worried anymore, just watching you. Like all my worries melted away.
Yeah, we all need some of that right now, don't we? With everything that's going on, we just, especially with it being winter and darker and everything going on, and around for us being in tier 3, you need a bit of Mrs. G to go, it's fine to be worried, and this is what we're going to do about it, because it really is fine, And I think the thing is, what I've more and more as we talk about this on this journey, it's about when you've experienced ACEs, you are more likely to be hypersensitive to threat, and you are more likely to be worried, and you are more likely to flip your lid, and and actually that's there's there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is. So it's about learning. It's that self-awareness. Okay, I'm more likely to flip my lid, I'm more likely to be worried about this, but actually I've got an element of control. I know now that if I practice self-care, if I use self-compassion, if I connect up with other people, then I'm going to be able to manage things more positively. So it's important for us to keep remembering that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like going back to the beginning when we first started this journey and revising those videos again and going back to square one a little bit, and then going, yep, I remember that, and then it'll all come back together again, and then that worry will then won't seem so much of a worry anymore.
Yeah, definitely. And I would just I know we posted it before, but it's the book, The Huge Bag of Worries, that you can get on YouTube as a story that's read, or you can just, you can just order it. It's such a fantastic book for explaining to children, about worries, and actually some of the things they're worried about they can let go of, because they're not for them to worry about, they're for the adults to worry about. And actually some of the worries disappear just when we talk about them, because they're not real, but we build them up in our mind. So that's another great book to look at, which we can go back and find in the link.
Lovely, thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, it's great. I'm really glad. And if you can post a picture of Zach with the monster, that would be great as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, lovely. All right, we'll speak later.
Yes, speak soon, Tracy.
Take care. Bye.